This is podcast number 34, and it's all about Loretta entering a burglar in her bedroom. And immediately after he left, she wrote down the encounter word for word. When I arrived the next day, she had placed the document of her writing about the incident in an envelope and written my name on the outside. So as we proceed, keep in mind that what you're hearing is Loretta's first person voice. Try to imagine you're hearing her speaking. Also keep in mind that she was aged 77 at the time. And the first thing, she dated it. It was Wednesday, November 14th, 1990, about 7 o'clock at night. Okay, so here it goes. Here's Loretta. I had gone upstairs about 5 p.m. to walk on the treadmill and then listen to the news. I had turned off the lights downstairs, and I also turned on the alarm. And about 6:30, I went to my bedroom and turned on the TV for the news. I had 2 dresses to shorten. I not bothered to put on a robe. I was just sitting there at my round table, pinning a hem, just wearing my bra and pantyhose. I had not heard a sound. I didn't have my hearing aids in. All of a sudden, I saw a man's feet. He was wearing sneakers. Then I saw him. Gray jeans, a tan windbreaker, and a ski mask. As I looked up, I think I said, "Oh no." He quietly put his hand over my mouth and said, "Don't scream, don't scream. I'm not going to hurt you." I nodded my head. "Are you alone?" I said, "Yes." He repeated, "I'm not going to hurt you. I want your jewelry." He looked at the box and then said, "I want your real jewelry." I told him, "That's it. You guys have been here before." He said, "No, I haven't." I said, "I mean, I've been robbed twice before. I could not afford to replace my jewelry, so I went to Ciro's." In the meantime, he put 3 or 4 rings he got from the lucite box in his pocket. I started to cry and kept repeating that that's all that I had. Again, he said, "These aren't real." I said, "No." I said, "I paid $700 for that one at Ciro's." And he kept saying, "Please don't cry. I'm not going to hurt you." But I couldn't stop, even though I was talking all the way through it. He finally said, "Where's your husband?" I said, "Well, he's dead." I kept wondering how he got past the alarm, or maybe he knew how to turn it off, but I was too afraid to ask. Anyway, he continued to be apologetic. He said, "I'm sorry, I really don't want to do this, but I've got a family to take care of. I have medical expenses and no one will give me a job of any kind." I believed him. I felt sorry for him because he had by this time put the rings back down on the table and said, "These won't help." I told him I had $20 I could give him, and he said, "No, that wouldn't help either." I went to my wallet. It was in the bag which hung on the doorknob, and I had $25, which I put in his hand, and I told him it's better than nothing. When he first went to the jewel box, I asked if I could put on a robe. He didn't even look at me and said, "Yes." So I went to the bathroom and got a robe. But at the time, he kept saying, "I'm sorry I frightened you. Please stop crying. I don't want to give you a heart attack. I thought no one was here. When I saw you, I was surprised. I thought the house was empty. The lights were out downstairs." Then I said, "I want to help you some way. I know. I could write you a check for $1,000 for cash. Then anyone could endorse it. I'll promise you I won't trace it or you in any way. He said, oh, I couldn't do that. The more I urged him, the more he said no. Finally, he said, why isn't this property protected by alarms? I said, well, it is. He said, not the windows. I'll show you. And he did. He'd come up the trellis outside the dining room and came in the bathroom window. Now, the night before, I was dressing to go out, and it would have been quite a bit worse because I would have had my jewelry all out and ready to wear. I must say right now, he had been so considerate of me, I felt compelled to help him. So I offered to let him out of the front door. He said he'd rather go out the way he came in. I asked him to put the screen back on, and he said it was bent and that he couldn't. And then I asked he asked me if I would please turn off the light so that he wouldn't be seen climbing down, and I did. He said, please, have these windows alarmed. Burglars use windows to get in. I told him I was glad he didn't come up the stairs because it would have alarmed and the police would have been here by now. He said as he left, no, please don't call the police. I promised. Actually, it never dawned on me to call them. The man never hurt me or taken anything from me. And I kept thinking about his own family situation. Oh, he did say, you have a lot of clothes. I asked what size his wife was, and he said, oh, she left me. Now it's just me and the kids. Also, he said, this is such a big house. Why don't you have jewelry or a maid or something? I said, well, it looks good to you. But I bought this house for $150,000 21 years ago, and I pay a $700 monthly mortgage. I can't rent anything for $700 today. And he agreed. I repeated, I wish there was some way I could help you. I really do. As he was leaving, he said, I said, I want you to do me a favor. Will you please say, and before I could get it out, he said, say a prayer for you? And I said, yes, and I'll offer my mass for you tomorrow, which I did. He climbed out the window, as big as he was, about 190, 200 pounds, all muscles and tall. He took one of the hairspray cans. That was all. I said, now be careful. He said, don't worry, this is easy. And don't forget to have the alarms put on. And then he was gone. I shut and locked the windows on the north side of the house and went back to my sewing table. But I couldn't concentrate. I looked at the clock and it was 7:18. I hope my sense of security hasn't been demolished. I hate to turn into a scaredy cat at my age. I decided not to tell my sisters, they just worry. Ed, yes, he has common sense and he can make use of this experience in the book. Both Loretta and I saw this experience as the seed for a movie script. I wrote a treatment called Burglar and submitted it to the William Morris Agency. Nothing developed. In 1992, so approximately 2 years later, Katharine Hepburn made a TV movie called The Man Upstairs. Ryan O'Neal co-starred as an escaped convict hiding out in her house, and the story was about the relationship between the two of them. That's what ensued between the two of them. When the Hepburn movie aired, Loretta opined, they stole our idea. I had to agree. It sure looked that way. But how would we ever prove that their idea had been originally your idea? Now, a note about Loretta's jewelry. She really did have the kind of jewelry the man was after, but she kept it in the hidden safe underneath the stairway leading up to the third floor. As much as she felt sorry for the man, she wasn't willing to turn any of those pieces over. I was well familiar with Loretta's good jewelry, as she often wore it on occasions which I was her escort. I also carried her diamonds and emeralds in the inside pocket of my sports coat when we traveled together. No one would be looking for it on me, and these were days before airport security checks. Now, one other thing. When Loretta described the man as 6 foot tall and all muscle, I couldn't help but think that his appearance played into his favor. Loretta was man crazy. She had been all her life, and she was the first to admit it. If this guy looked like Buddy Hackett, I wonder if she would have seen him in such a forgiving light. Anyway, that's it.